Hello there. Have another ScoutFall, current name for it, league here. So it just started. This hand's fine. It has half the combo. I'm just missing retreat. I have a bunch of combos here. Plus I'm on the play and I get a turn 1 mana dork. So this is the brew I've been working with a little bit. The Bant Collected Company deck. The core is a Nightfall shell. But it has Secure Tribe Scout with a Boro, and Retreat is a bunch of extra combos. That alone triggers infinite landfall because Scout taps. Well, Boro can tap a mana, return it back to your hand, and the landfall trigger with Retreat can untap Scout each time. That, in conjunction with Courser of Crewfix, is Infinite Life. In conjunction with Tireless Tracker is Infinite Clues. In conjunction with Lotus Cobra is Infinite Mana. Any of those together is obviously pretty good. And then if you add Archangel of Thune, you also have infinitely sized creatures in addition to the infinite life. So if you have Courser when you're doing that loop. Lots of really, really janky things there. But I think the deck's a lot of fun. So we're up against Hardened Scales Affinity, which is not going to be a good matchup. Luckily, Reflector Mage can pull some extra duty here. Missing the black, like a card like Anafenza, that really can shut them down is pretty rough. This deck is really good at grinding. It's not so good at it's good at racing only if I get the turn 2 Knight like I did here. Looks like they're about to go off. Turn 2 Metallic Mimic, they can hold priority and just drop a bunch of other creatures, but they didn't. I can Collected Company, or I can just Reflector Mage and start swinging. I don't think I'm dead yet. Servo. I think I'd rather play Collected Company here. Put a little bit more pressure onto this board. Not a very good hit because the 2 retreats, which I really needed, were right there. But the third one's drawn, so we win the game. Of course, our opponent's going to make us click through it all. I do not have MTG bot. Hey, how's it going? I don't have MTG bot yet. I've only been doing this for a month or two, so I'm actually still a pretty new streamer here. And this is a late night stream. Yeah, I just gotta add it. I just meant I haven't set it up yet. So retreat, landfall. Whenever a land comes into play onto the battlefield, I get to either scry one, or more relevantly, untap or tap a creature. So I'm going to be able to play all the lands through my deck, keep untapping Knight, make a giant Knight, and then eventually make him unblockable and win the game. So I'm just using these triggers while they're going off. I also have infinite life right here if I want, because I can pick up Oboro with the Secure Tribe Scout and just keep doing that. So I apparently love playing decks and MTGO that require a ton of clicks. Sorry, this is not the most engaging combo to click through online, but you can kind of see how intensive it is. So I'm just making a ton of mana. They could concede at any point. I mean, I have the game won. Okay. So how's your night going tonight? So I now have a 17/17 unblockable creature. Yeah, this is just a ridiculous deck. I mean, if you saw what I could have done there, I could have actually just made infinite life. Um, but infinite life doesn't win in a situation like this when they have Inkmoth Nexus. So what I could have done is just picked up the Oboro and then kept replaying it with the Secure Tribe Scout, and with retreat in play, I can do that as many times as I want. Each time gains me life off of the Courser. So if I had like a tracker in play with if I had a Lotus Cobra with that, I think that would have been fine. It's unblockable because I played Rogue's Passage, I cut it was running Stomping Ground and Kessig Wolfrun, but then I just cut the Red Splash. It was a little more painful than I'd like, and I added Rogue's Passage. It's a colorless land you can pay for, tap a creature to give a creature unblockable this turn. But you saw I had plenty of mana, wasn't really an issue there. So I just swung in with like I said, I just made him 17-17 because my opponent was at 17 life and made him unblockable. Swing in. Could have made him larger than that, but there really wasn't a need. Bojuka Bog doesn't do anything here, so I'll just trim it. Bring another Ghost Quarter because Ghost Quarter hits Inkmoth Nexus. Cards I'm not as big of a fan of. I don't like Spike Feeder. I have the Spike Feeder Archangel of Thune combo in here as well. Don't like Spike Feeder. I'm intrigued by Archangel, mostly just because it's a flyer. Scavenging Ooze is actively bad in a matchup like this. I'd like to trim at least one retreat, maybe a tracker or two. Maybe a company, because this is a matchup where I want to be a little bit quicker. And Courser seems a little bit worse too. Because Infinite Life does not win me the game here. So Courser's a little bit weaker. Courser's kind of like the Kitchen Finks in this deck, if we're going to compare it to Abzan Company. So currently up a game, thanks to the Nightfall combo. I have a path, and I have a bit of a slow game plan, but I'll keep this just because of the path. The Ghost Quarter also makes it a little bit more enticing because I have an answer for Inkmoth Nexus. Okay, opponent's got a slightly slower start this time. So this Noble Hierarch is just going to eat a Walking Ballista. That's kind of fine here. Yep, kill this and still have one counter left. Okay. Just gonna path this Ballista because it's gonna be troublesome once they get one more mana with that Hardened Scales in play. And plus I want to top deck a land and then go retreat into Company and kind of play out my lands that way. So as long as I top deck a land, I'm in pretty good shape here with the two companies. I still have 2 turns to hit it because Reflector Mage can save me from something, and Ghost Quarter is a decent play as well. That's not good. It is easily how we lose this. So with an Arcbound Ravager. Okay, it's fine. So I could just be dead right here to the Ink Moth. Probably am. Yep. Hardened Scales is a heck of a card, huh? Okay. I really want a hand with a Knight of the Relic, a turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary. That's kind of how this deck kind of starts coming together a little bit. With a turn 2 Knight and a turn 3 Retreat is a victory for me. What I actually want to do, I've never done it yet with this deck, is I want to have the Secure Tribe Scout Retreat combo with a Tireless Tracker and a Lotus Cobra that lets you draw and play your entire deck. Perfect. So this is a nighttime stream, which means we are enjoying beverages. Let me know what everyone's having tonight. Alabaster Wolfie. Pithing Needle on Knight would be pretty rough right now. Okay. So no combo for me. I notice I have big dumb duders. Walking Ballista would be really rough right now. This is Mr. Johnny Cash. Hey, how's it going? This is game 3. I won game 1 with the Knight of the Reliquary Retreat combo. So that's how the opponent knew to Pithing Needle. This is game 3. Stock Nightfall lists do not run Scout. They just run extra mana dorks. Yeah, so game 1 I won with a long drawn-out combo. Game 2 they won with Inkmoth Nexus and Ravager. And I arguably should have tapped out in the spot where I did. This is game 3. I'm on the play. I kept a heavy Knight hand, and they play Pithing Needle turn 1, naming Knight. It's kind of rough. But it is what it is. Knight is still a fair beater here. I can still try to get through with that. This is not a matchup that I think I'm favored in at all. Okay, so they grab Ink Moth. Which is going to be a little bit rougher since I can't fetch up my Ghost Quarters. I have 2 Ghost Quarters in the 60 right now. So I do have access to 4 mana. It's probably better off just to cast Collected Company the night that can't actually activate an ability. Stock Nightfall lists also don't run the Karoo lands. I added them because of their synergy with Secure Tribe Scout and how they also help trigger extra landfall for the rest of the... This is really just a landfall deck, the way I've brewed this. It is not traditional Nightfall at all. The secondary combo here, Mr. Johnny Cash, is Secure Tribe Scout with Oboro, and Retreat to Coral Helm is infinite landfall triggers, which in conjunction with Lotus Cobra is infinite mana, which in conjunction with Courser of Krufix is infinite life, and in conjunction with Tracker is infinite clues. Wasn't a bad little hit there. Wasn't great, wasn't bad either. One more land drop, we get Archangel. We can block Ink Moth Nexus and try to race our opponent here. Because our knights are only 3/3s at the moment. And our opponent's now deciding if they valued that. If they valued the Walking Ballista in their hand or us having the Scout. And the tertiary combo in this deck is the Archangel of Thune Spike Feeder combo. Sure. Dismember on our Archangel. We have no way of bringing her back. Cute little interaction there with Karoo lands and Secure Tribe Scout. And I'm just trying to race my opponent here because if they get to untap, I'm in worse spot. If they untap with a Ravager or something like that, I could just be dead. I really just need a Ghost Quarter. Another good draw would be Knight of Autumn. Path to Exile will be fine. I just need an answer to the Inkmoth Nexus. The reason Knight of Autumn is an answer is because Knight of Autumn can hit Pithing Needle, and then Knight of the Reliquary can sacrifice a forest and get Ghost Quarter, and Ghost Quarter can deal with Inkmoth Nexus. Okay, opponent's got one card left in their hand. And again, with Knight not being able to use his ability, or her ability, it's really just a big dumb beater at this point. It's fine. Now my best possible top deck is the land that gives unblockable. Because an unblockable Knight of the Reliquary is game over right now for my opponent. I guess they could throw up, as long as they tap out, if they could make Walking Bliss into a 4/4 and then shoot down my Knight. Sure. It's 4, I'll go to 10. I have no issue with that. Block with the Tribe Scout? I could have. I don't know if it would have done anything in that particular situation. It would have saved me a couple of points of life, but I think I'm more concerned with... I need to attack to kill these Thopters at this point. If they played wrong. Right, that would have been dependent upon them playing wrong. I'm going to use Tireless Tracker as the bait for blocking right now. Yep. Each of these Thopters represents 1 damage. Tracker was not a great draw. I much would have preferred a Courser of Krufix there. Oh, okay. There's like a fan dying in my computer right now. Why did we win that match? I have no idea what just happened. But hey, we won the match, I guess. Should have been dead. We weren't. That calls for a celebratory beer. One of these days, I'm going to set up a beer fridge in my office. And I'll never get any real work done. Yeah, I have no idea what happened there. Turn 2, Knight of the Reliquary is a keep. Playing against Overrated. Or Overaided, I guess, because Overrated has 2 R's, right? So if we're up against Burn, we're fine, because we have a turn 2 Corsair of Krufix. But we are up again against, in my opinion, what is a terrible matchup in Hardened Scales. I really hate playing like the same deck over and over and over again. Especially when it's a bad matchup. Yep. I don't mind that at all. We're actually pretty well set up right now, especially since our opponent just took a turn off just to slow us down a turn. So this is a surprise stream tonight. Let's see. So if I top deck a retreat, I can win the game. Okay. I have no main board creature interaction other than Reflector Mage. I have no paths or anything like that. It's something I've been considering about adding to the deck because it is pretty weak against creatures. Don't know why our opponent hasn't shot the Scout yet. Scout's actually more scary than a Noble Hierarch in this deck. Don't know why the block there when they can just make that into a 2/2 next turn. Seems strange. We just playing against some new. I don't know what's happening right now. We're seeing some strange things against Hardened Scales right now. Our opponent last game concedes when we're dead on board, and our opponent right now blocks with a Servo token when they could have, especially if they had a Ravager in hand. No, you lose the 4 life. It doesn't matter. I don't think I'm in a great spot here. Hey Garrett, how's it going? Just doing a late night stream. Which means I just wanted to play late night and figured I'd join with anybody who wanted to hang out. They have an Inkmoth Nexus in play, which means I can't really attack with the Knight of the Reliquary because I might need to get up a Ghost Quarter. I think I just have to, unfortunately, pass here. I think I'm just dead. Two Coder, one Deputy. Seems interesting. I don't hate it. So you had a one breeding pool. Did you cut a Overgrown Tomb and a Seer? Yep. I want my opponent to load up the Inkmoth Nexus with everything they have. And if they do that, I will fetch up a Ghost Quarter and blow it up. How did the Knight of the Reliquary feel, Garrett? Because I love the card. Yeah, I'll be probably drawing the Reflector Mage first. Yep, off of the clue. Hey, Atomic Waffles, how's it going? Haven't seen you in a bit. I know you've been busy, right? Work? Sure. So, what our opponents should do is load up the Ballista and not the Inkmoth. Thanks when Work's got you buried. Work's got me alright. This is my slower time of season, so I play more Magic. Yeah, I don't know what our opponent's doing here. This has been a weird league. As long as I don't misclick here. Alright. They see their poor doing. With Reflector Mage in hand, whatever they end up playing next turn, we get to deal with, and we have enough clues to just probably win the game right there. Knight of Autumn, Reflector Mage is good, Skews is bad, Bajuka Bog's bad, Ghost Quarter's good, Paths are good. I think that's good. Maybe a Shalai just as a flying blocker. I mean, I can't believe they did that, but last match, our opponent conceded when they had me dead on board, and I don't know why. Something when testing here is the Rogue's Passage over the Wolfrun. I think it's strictly worse in most cases, but it allows me to not have to run the Stomping Ground, which often feels like the worst land in my deck. Yeah, Archangel of Thune, and it's a 1-up Spike Feeder with no way to tutor it. This is my jank deck. This is my jank deck, Atomic Waffles, and I love it. I love this as much as you love Death Cloud. Well, actually, that's probably not possible, but Spike Feeder actually isn't good here. I'll probably cut a Retreat. I think I cut a Company, cut a Tracker. I actually think I cut a Lotus Cobra also. It's really weak to Ballista. I'll call this my every combo, but terrible to play on MTGO deck. There's lots of infinite loops, which don't really do anything. I've yet to play this in paper because I don't own a Boros. I don't own... What else am I missing? I actually don't have Reflector Mages, but they're super easy to get. I don't have Retreats, but they're super easy to get. I think I have the rest of this. This is basically already a mulligan to 6 because I got 2 retreats, but I do have plenty of interaction. I'll keep. Last time I kept a hand like this, last round, I lost. Okay. And we get the privilege of drawing our 3rd retreat to Coral Helm. I even sided one out, so that is all of them. I played the Canopy instead of the Rainforests. I don't want to thin my deck. I actually want to draw lands. I want to hit my 3rd land drop so I can start playing cards here. Okay. Sure. So I'm going to go ahead and path this Ink Moth right now. It's probably the way I die most often. And now my opponent does not have, well, they didn't have Metalcraft, but Ancient Stirrings will probably get that for them. Yep, Walking Ballista. Can't cast it without Metalcraft, opponent. I got rid of your Ink Moth. Yep. And now I get to Night of Autumn and either blow up a land, blow up a Scales, do something here. I could just Reflector Mage. What is the best play here? Well, first thing I want to do is fetch a forest. So I can play Courser of Crufix. It doesn't do anything because I already play a land this turn, so it doesn't help. I can play Retreat. Doesn't help. I have no more lands in hand. So I can Night of Autumn, blow up something, or I can Reflector Mage like the Arcbound Worker. I think, knowing they have a Walking Ballista in their hand, I kind of want a Night of Autumn, blow up the Hardened Scales. But I mean, any of these targets are also, and they're all pretty good things to hit here. But I think Hardened Scales is their combo piece, and if they have a Ravager in hand, I just want to get rid of that now. There's an argument to be made for taking any of their cards there. Hey, how's it going, GD Coltree? Let me know if I pronounce your name incorrectly. Always let me know if I'm wrong. That is #1 rule here in the Doom Train. Always let me know if I am wrong. What's it after? Is that your name, or is that like a nickname or something? Gilham. Who is Daniel Coltree? I'm sorry if I don't know who that is. And hey Chris, how's it going? Oh, okay, your name. Well, that's probably why I don't know your name. Chris, this is the Knight of the Reliquary Coral Helm combo, but it also has some spice. I don't think I'm in a great spot here. I can retreat and scry 2, but Courser kind of lets me scry also, so with a fetch land. Yep. Swinging for 2, they're not going to block. So I'm not probably block. They're not going to attack next turn. So it's just a cheeky little way to get 2 damage across before they kill my dude with a Walking Ballista. I don't have the deck list on there. I just tuned to this deck list, so it hasn't been updated. This is a nighttime stream, so I'm super lazy. This is game 2 There's no Knight of Autumn main. You know me how much I hate Knight of Autumn main. GD, I got your back though. Let me. This is the deck list right here. So it's a classic Knight of the Reliquary Retreat combo with Collected Company. It has Archangel of Thune, Spike Feeder. It has Secura Tribe Scout with Retreat to Coral Helm and an Aboro, which produces infinite land drops, which I can use with Lotus Cobra to get infinite mana, Tireless Tracker to get infinite clues, and Courser of Crewfix to gain infinite life, which combos nicely with Archangel of Thune. Yeah, this deck list is... I'm really happy with it so far. I don't want a Noble Hierarch, so I will shuffle my library here. I shuffle my library because I don't want a Noble Hierarch. What do I get? A Noble Hierarch. Sometimes MTGO just does, I feel like it does that way too often. I'm going to play this Noble. I think I'm going to play Retreat. Yeah, this deck is... I don't think this deck is very good right now. So they can make these both 2/2s. I can swing with a 3/5. So they could have a 1/1, a 2/2, a 2/2. It's not... I don't think it's worth it for me to attack here, so I'll just sit pretty. Maybe I'll just attack with this, which would be a 3/2, which you could just trade with one of them. I'm actually perfectly okay if they have 2 spirits instead of 4. And I can Reflector Mage the other one next turn. Yep. Oh, I don't think my fan's dying. I think a ladybug got inside my computer. I think that's what I'm hearing. Yeah, Value Town decks, which this is probably the purest Value Town deck I've ever played, are just really down in the meta right now. I do want to point out, I think my opponent made another mistake. Just kind of like they did in that first game when they blocked, just to save 4 life, they blocked like a token. I think that's wrong. They just lost 3 life and had a bigger Hangerback Walker for Ravager, but they didn't do that. Am I dead? Because I could crack this clue, right? Draw the knight, play the knight, pass turn. This isn't the purest Value Town. Sorry, I think I misspoke. This is the grindiest Value Town. This has all these infinite combos. I think this deck is just grindier than traditional Value Town. I think it also makes it slightly better positioned. So I don't think... Well, I don't think I can do anything other than potentially die here. Reflector Mage doesn't do anything with a Ravager in play. So I think the best line is to set myself up to just win next turn. Apparently I can't even get lucky and have a land on top. Yep. So I'm probably just... I definitely would have been dead here if my opponent hadn't... my opponent had just taken the 3 damage. They could have had one extra Thopter in play, which is a big deal. And 2 more tokens onto the Ravager. So it's either they kill me, or they kill my knight, or they die. I can't block flyers. Okay. Walking Ballista kills me here. Yep. Alright. So we're going to game 3. Don't need that many on Walking Ballista. Well, Fling is an underrated card. Fling is a lot of fun. Okay. The early interaction, so I think I keep this, but each time I keep the early interaction hands, I keep losing, so maybe it's a sign where I shouldn't keep it. It's not like this deck is explosive. This deck is nothing like Devoted Druid. Like, I can't just explode out with a turn 3 win here as frequently. Yeah, triple Coral Helm was rough. I mean, honestly, if we just drawn a Knight of the Reliquary earlier last game, I think we won. I just like showing off my famous bad luck on stream. We had a Cocoa Whiff. My last was it? When did I stream last? Whenever I streamed last, we had that Collected Company Whiff, which was just so much fun. I can Reflector Mage. I can Courser. They have an Inkmoth in play, so Courser doesn't really do anything. I can play a Retreat here just to start scrying, but Courser just does a better job. I should add a Cocoa Whiff Tracker. I'm sure at this point in my life I've probably whipped Collected Company 30, 40 times. Reflector Mage on the Arcbound Worker isn't terrible, but I think I just like Courser more here. It is a really good idea, Chris. Okay, so I'm drawing a land, which doesn't help. So next turn my play is going to be I'm going to path the Arcbound Ravager. Or maybe I'm going to Reflector Mage 1 and then path the target. That's my play next turn. Hopefully they do something stupid like float everything to Inkmoth again. I actually ran a league with a version of this deck. It was like Friday. I didn't stream it. I didn't record it either. Just to try to feel what type of deck I want it to be. I still don't know if I want it to just be the type of deck it is right now, or if I want to make it more mid-rangey and put removal main. Have to shock here. Ooh, Ghost Quarter coming up is nice. So I think I want to Reflector Mage the Ravager and then path the secondary target. I think that's just more efficient. Okay. That worked out pretty well for me, I think. I just got the actual Reflector Mage off with not doing have to do anything there. I do want to get another path now, yeah. Although I consider Ghost Quarter coming up to kind of be like a path. They do have 2 Ink Moth Nexuses, which can be trouble. There's a Ballista, which is trouble. Yeah, yep. Path and Ballista, because once they get Ravager down, Ballista's the problem, not Ravager. Ravager's a problem because Ravager isn't the end problem. Ravager's like this weird middle problem. Reflector Mage is a pretty good draw here. So just pausing. I can play Ghost Quarter, then I can pick up Reflector Mage. It just doesn't do anything. It's Ink Moth, and it's not instant speed, so it's not good enough here. So I'm going to go green, 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 play Courser, play Ghost Quarter, gain some life. And just keep beating down. Like, if they want to waste their servos blocking me, that is a huge punt on their part, in my opinion, now. And now I'm representing Path and Ghost Quarter, even though I only have a singleton Ghost Quarter. Yeah, especially with Ravager in hand, why would you waste servos to save 2 life? Yeah. You could kill me. You could try to use those to one-shot me at some point instead of just saving 2 life. 2 life is irrelevant. 2 life is a shock land. Okay, really don't want to draw more lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can't retreat and Reflector. I think I'm gonna Reflector Mage. Blue, white, green. Reflector the Ravager. Yep. Knight of Autumn's not a bad draw, so I'm kind of okay with it. And again, I'm just gonna attack with my dudes. Hold up Ghost Quarter for the Ink Moth. They have a Ravager in hand. They cannot play next turn. If they want to waste 2 servos to kill a Reflector Mage that already did its job, I'm more than okay with that. I feel like Hardened Scales is one of those decks that is really scary in the hands of a master. Yeah, 2 4s you're gonna win. They just really want to slow play right now, win a long. They can actually beat me in the long game because of Ink Moth Nexus. I only have 2 Ghost Quarters. I don't think they're playing well. I have to choose on my opponent's end step if I want Knight of Autumn or not. Yeah, I'll take 1 poison damage. I'm more than okay with 1 poison damage. Shooting a Ghost Quarter now would be wasting it when I know they have a Ravager in hand. Okay. So they get 2 more servos. Yeah, I want Knight of Autumn to kill this Ballista. Sure. And I want this Knight of the Reliquary, so I'm not actually going to do anything here regarding that. I'm definitely not tapping this Ghost Quarter for it. Keeping Reflector Mage back so I can still have a blocker against any Ravager shenanigans. The reason I attacked here was I wanted to cut down my opponent's resources, and they've been very fond of blocking. So they blocked, now they have less resources to Ravager with. I want Coder. Yeah. I want Coder with Retreat to Coral Helm. Because if my opponent doesn't kill me here, they're dead. In 2 turns. I don't think I've misplayed yet. It's entirely possible, but I don't think I have yet. Let me know when I do. I love being told when I'm wrong. Okay, I definitely don't want that knight. Do I just play Retreat now? Yep. I'm just trying to think, like, I could just play Retreat right now, but there's probably no reason to. Playing Retreat now just makes my opponent realize that they have to kill me right then, or have to kill the knight. I think holding it keeps that one piece of information. Yeah, they don't know about it. He is not playing like that at all. But I think he will recognize the combo and that he's dead if he doesn't do anything. I could attack with like Courser or Reflector Mage here. I don't think I do. I've been eating up servos, but at this point they can just pop them onto Ravager. It doesn't matter. Yeah, my opponent has absolutely not been playing like they're afraid of what's in my hand. My game plan is to block a ground attack with Reflector Mage, block an air attack with Ghost Quarter. Block an air attack with Ghost Quarter. Yeah, this has been a weird 40% of a league so far. So I usually stream Monday mornings. I went into the field instead. Had some meetings. Was more productive. I was a more productive human being. So going back to playing Retreat or not playing Retreat, I think playing Retreat would give my opponent perfect information. They would know what's on top of my library, and they would know so I can actually save my Knight of the Reliquary, but then I'm dead. Because I can Ghost Quarter myself. If they only had one Inkmoth Nexus, I would just... This would be a no-brainer line. Ghost Coiler, Ink Moth, fetch with Misty, make my knight a 6/6, save it. But I can't do anything here. If I do that, I'm just dead. So unfortunately, my opponent drew a very timely removal spell. And now I am in a bit of a trouble. Yep. How big can this get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This can be a 17 power creature. I think I'm forced to block with a Reflector Mage here. I did. And I counted that they could make 2 more creatures off of the animation module. What did I say, the biggest was 17? Which isn't lethal. But not having a Knight of the Reliquary in play means I don't have lethal, which means I really can't just take 17 damage off of nothing. It's actually not terrible. I'll draw that. Should have gotten the Hallowed Fountain. That was a punt. Punt on my count. I should have got rid of Hallowed Fountain. Now I can't play both spells. They're just accepting this. That's perfectly fine with me. I think I'm going to attack here just to eat... Well, I actually would just eat 2. No. It's not enough. And knowing I'm drawing a Secure Tribe Scout is a little saddening here. This matchup is bad. We won game 1 against the same deck, though. We won match 1 against the same deck. Now we're playing it again here, match 2 also. We should not have won match 1. Our opponent punted hard. And here our opponent had Timely Dismember, which absolutely wrecked any plan we had. Ooh, I have Infinite Life, which does nothing against Inkmoth Nexus, but maybe our opponent will concede to it. Actually, I have Infinite Life in another turn, so I think I'm dead before that. Sorry, your name's Blue. JS Sleazebo. I'll answer your question in just a second. Could you run a version of Abzan Devoted Company without Verdant Catacombs? 100% yes. I'd probably cut the basic Swamp in that case, go up an Overgrown Tomb, and you can run Misties or Wooded Foothills or whatever other green fetch you want. You really just want the green fetch. You'll obviously lose a couple points against Burn, maybe another point or two in the Is It Phoenix matchup, but you're not really winning that anyway. Not regularly, at least. Yes. So if Verdant is the only thing holding you back from playing that deck, play it. Yep. So unless their opponent punts here, I think they win. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for the rating party. I appreciate it. I'm having a little bit late night freebie stream, so I had to drink some beer and stream a fun of Secure Tribe Scout deck. Yeah, I don't have a raid notification yet. I mean, I've been streaming for like 2 months now, so I'm still a newbie in the streaming department. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you. Colby81, thank you for the follow. F. Paul, Francisco, your name's Francisco, right? Thank you for the rating party. I'll just take the infect here. You guys are joining when I'm about to lose. I'm playing a fair, not a fair, but I'm playing a Value Town deck. I'm up against Scales Affinity. So, I don't know if you guys see this, but I actually have infinite life right now. It just doesn't matter against infect damage. Hey, Foxy Potato here, Meerkat. Glad to have you guys. It really depends. Hey, the best in the West, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the follow. Hey, I gotta shout out everyone. I gotta get your names correct. The best in the West, Mattias, Reezum, Meerkat BH. Thank you all for the follow. Really appreciate it. Really love seeing this. I'm playing with a weird deck tonight. Currently 1-0, about to fall here though. So I have infinite life here because Secure Tribe Scout with Oboro and Retreat to Coral Helm gives me infinite landfall. I can tap, replay Oboro, and Oboro pays for itself to bounce, and Courser can keep gaining me life. Unfortunately though, that doesn't do enough here. What it does do though is it lets me tap down one of their creatures at instant speed. And I can scratch. I'm just playing a land here. Yeah, animation module. My opponent I don't think has played super tight. They've been blocking with their servo tokens all game. And you can see they're 8 life right now, but that's just because I've Reflector Mage their Arcbound Ravager 2 or 3 times at this point. Yeah, I could wait for I have the Ghost Quarter in play, so I have a little bit of time here. What I really wanted was, I like having like a Lotus Cobra in play when I make the Infinite Landfall with a Tireless Tracker. This deck is Magic Christmas Land. Like, this is not a deck I would bring to a competitive deck if I was serious, a competitive event if I was serious. This entire deck is just Magic Christmas Land. Like, with a Lotus Cobra, Infinite Landfall drops with a Tireless Tracker, you draw your whole deck, play Courser of Krufix, gain Infinite Life, play Archangel of Thune, gain infinitely sized creatures, and just win the game. It's also not a deck that's super great to play on MTGO. Looks like they're going for it, yeah. When they went for it game 1, they loaded everything up game 1 when I had a Knight of the Reliquary out, and they put everything onto an Inkmoth Nexus, and I just fetched up Ghost Quarter and won. They've learned, probably. Yep. I'm super dead here. It's never good when you're waiting for your opponent to like not make a mistake. So I'll go to 9 Infect. Yeah. I don't even think that does anything for me here. That's what I actually need. I knew that a few turns ago. But now I get to tap down 2 creatures, Path and Ghost Quarter the other, so I'm still alive. They didn't go for the win because they had the Ghost Quarter in play. If they loaded up, they had 2 Ravagers. They should have just loaded up like a 2/2, 2 counters on each. I don't know why they didn't, but all right. I mean, I was pretty dead there no matter what happened. So, deck list. This deck is not tuned. This deck is not great, but this deck is ridiculously fun to play. It uses the Secure Tribe Scout combination, kind of like that, with a couple Karoo lands. It feels like if Amulet ever got banned, which would be terrible, and I just really wanted to play a land-based deck, I think this is the closest I can find to it. Just to point out all the combos this deck has, the baseline fastest kill is turn 3, a turn 2 Knight, a turn 3 Retreat. You get to just go straight up Knight of the Reliquary to retreat to Coral Helm and play through your entire deck until you get to, instead of Wolfrun, I'm running Rogue's Passage, so I don't have to run the red land. It has the infinite mana loop, which makes, the infinite landfall loop, which makes infinite mana, which makes infinite life, which makes infinite clues. It also has the, this is a mulligan. It also has the Archangel of Thune Spike Feeder combo, which is just infinite life and infinitely sized creatures. Yeah, it's... So, an Amulet, if I had a combo piece and a Scout and some lands, I'd probably be tempted to keep. I'm kind of tempted to keep this in general. I have some pretty good top decks here. Do I think you get away with running a basic swamp if you play the devoted version with Knight of the Reliquary and Field of Ruin? I don't like the Knight of the Reliquary Field of Ruin version as much because Kitchen Finks is a house. Kitchen Finks makes Vizier better. You know, bottom, Temple Garden. So if you're, it depends what your meta is. What are you playing online? What is your meta exactly? What was that league? Spoils of the Vault? Turn 1? What is going on here? They named Goryo's Vengeance. Okay. We're up against a lot of really fast decks when we're a really slower and grindier deck. Kitchen Finks makes Vizier actually a good card. Otherwise, Vizier is just a bad combo piece in Druid decks. When you run Kitchen Finks, Vizier all of a sudden is a value card. Vizier is all of a sudden a secondary combo card. Vizier's a lot of things. So I think I just need to play Knight here. I mean, we're just up against some really Narset cannon. I mean, probably dead here. Unless they get rid of all their Grizzle brands. They have Enter the Infinite. You can win turn 1, but it didn't. This deck is not probably what we want to play when we're playing a really slow deck. Our deck can't win turn 3, but it's not going to reliably. If you'd like the list to be good against any meta, but your LGS is a lot of Tron, some Shadow, and Black Green X. Alright. First strike means you can go on through, lady. So I'm pretty sure we're dead. Against Tron, I definitely want some Assassin's Trophies. I would completely cut Abrupt Decay. Assassin's Trophy is gold against Tron. Shadow and Black Green X, I actually like the Finks versions more. Kitchen Finks is a house against Shadow. You can actually look up in the Discord my win rate against the Shadow decks. And my win rate is insanely high against Grixis Death Shadow with the Kitchen Finks, Abzan, Devoted Druid decks. Only chance of winning here is if our opponent just kills himself. Infinite Life is so insanely powerful, and Kitchen Finks just with Gavney Township is powerful. Kitchen Finks with Vizier is powerful. Kitchen Finks just to wall off your opponent's Gurmag Anglers is very powerful. I know people say, well, Knight of the Reliquary would trade or kill Gurmag Angler, but I just can't. You can't offset that. That little bit of life gain is always relevant. What if they exile? Yeah, it's rough if they exile. So if they have a surgical extraction on your Finks, okay. I mean, you're still a pretty valid deck without Finks. Especially if your meta is Green, Black, Rock, and Shadow. Neither of those decks are probably going to bring in surgical against you. Without Kitchen Finks, the Devoted Vizier combo is actually worse. Because if you, let's just pretend this open, right? Turn 1, Dork. Turn 2, Devoted Druid. That's your ideal open. Turn 3, you Chord 4 or you play Vizier. And on the stack, your opponent bolts or Fatal Pushes or Dismembers or Path to Exiles or whatever they do. They kill Devoted Druid so you can't gain the Infinite Life. I'll finish my story before I get to... so they kill the Druid. Now what do you do? Well, if you're a Knight of the Reliquary deck, you say, okay, now I play Knight of the Reliquary. But if you're a Kitchen Finks deck, you say, oh, now I play Kitchen Finks. And hey, now you just are a Court of Calling or a Viscera Seer away from winning the game regardless. So it makes you transition from your plan A to your plan B seamlessly because it uses that same middle card. It's kind of like how in this deck I made... the Secure Tribe Scout, really janky infinite landfall combo with their Knight of the Reliquary. I think a really janky win combo with Retreat to Coralhelm. But what's that middle piece? That middle piece is Retreat to Coralhelm. And all of a sudden, Coralhelm is a decent card because, hey, it's integral to 2 combos. It's integral to the deck now. And playing Kitchen Finks makes Vizier integral to the Devoted Druid deck. Instead of just being, oh, it's a bad janky combo 2-1, now all of a sudden it's a 2-1 where it's relevant in 2 different combos. It's relevant as a fair card just with Kitchen Finks to make it so Kitchen Finks is an infinite blocker. So I don't know what our opponent did, but they died. So I think we want Narset as Hexproof, maybe Damping Sphere. I really don't know what we want here. So Hexproof means Path Exile is probably bad, but they also have Grizzlebrand, so in that case, Path Exile is good. They put the wrong card back? Oh, alright. So what don't I want here? I think Tireless Tracker is probably pretty bad. Chorister of Krufix is probably not as good. Again, I'm just going to cut Spike Feeder. It's kind of a meme card anyway. I love the Bojuka Bog main. Lotus Cobra is probably a bit overkill here. Archangel of Dunes probably overkill. Yeah, I think that's what I want to do. My game plan, I don't think any Infinite Life is scaring my opponent. I just want to drop a Knight and swing in with it and have Scavenging Ooze and play from there. I don't value Knight of the Reliquary into Bojuka Bog as much. This hand doesn't do much. I like this hand a lot. I will put Scout on the bottom. The reason I don't value Knight of the Reliquary as much in that matchup, or really in Modern in general, is I think she's just a turn 2 slow. So a turn 2 Knight of the Reliquary doesn't stop turn 3 Tron. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. Alright, that was quick. Alright, we're 2-1. We've played some really weird matchups. I'd like to play against something like Jund. I think I'd like to see a nice grindy matchup here. No, a Finks doesn't either. But if the whole argument to playing Knight of the Reliquary is I can search up Bojuka Bog, I can search up Ghost Quarter, when it's not actually as great in the matchups where you want Bojuka Bog and you want Ghost Quarter, then I mean, I will give you that if the thing you're really scared about is Tron, Knight of the Reliquary is much better than Kitchen Finks. Kitchen Finks is jank against Tron. Infinite Life doesn't do anything. Gaining Life doesn't do anything. So you want Knight of the Reliquary as both a beater and as a way to get Ghost Quarter. But against Dredge, I don't really care about... Kitchen Finks kills Dredge more often than Bojuka Bog would. They can't beat Infinite Life. I'll keep this. No idea what I'm up against. 2 Calves Hammer is the name of her opponent here. One thing I love about this deck is our opponent's just going to immediately assume we're an Amulet Titan with this open. Up against Tron. This hand is really bad against Tron. I think the best thing I can hope for here is... just dropping a tracker and hoping it runs away with the game. I'm glad I can convince you to play the Kitchen Finks version. And if you want a list on the in my Discord, it's got everything there. Entire sideboard guide, my entire deck, all of it's just laid out there for you. So you don't have a link to the Discord. Well, anybody who is not in the Discord will now have a link on the Discord. My entire sideboard guide is currently free to anybody who joins the Discord. It's like a 19-page sideboard guide. It's not nearly as extensive as FPAL's for Amulet Titan, but it is pretty extensive just in terms of what we want to do, how to do the matchups. If you ever have questions on a specific matchup, I can help you out there. So let's Reflector Mage this. A land wouldn't be terrible because we could just secure it, scout it in. And if our opponent doesn't have a Karn, if all they have is worm coils, a handful of worm coils and lands, we might be able to steal this game 1 here. Okay, that's U minus here. It's game over. Yep. So what we want here, Knight of Autumn seems okay. Scavenging Ooze is crap. Unified Will and Negate are good. Damping Sphere is good. Ghost Quarter is good. Bajuka Bog's bad. Lotus Cobra is probably not as good. Spike Feeder is absolute crap. Courser is crap. Archangel's probably a little slow. So anybody wants to join that Discord? We're a pretty active community for collected company decks. I've been posting a little bit about this deck, but mostly I post about my Abzan Company deck, which is kind of the deck that I really started winning at, I guess. I was doing pretty well with Abzan Traverse years and years ago. I experimented with Sultai Traverse and a lot of fringe decks. I like playing decks that are a little bit off color from standard meta shares. Like I don't think I'll ever really play Phoenix, even if it's the best deck in the format. I just don't want to play the best deck in the format. I want to play a deck that is unique. Or a deck that's terribly hard to play. Like I'll never play Ad Nauseam or anything like that. You have to pay me a lot of money to play Ad Nauseam. Even then, I just don't want to play Ad Nauseam. So this hand is great. I have a turn 1 Scout. If I draw into a land, I do have a turn 2 Reliquary into more. Land. It's not a land. I think I'm just going to play a Lotus Cobra just to kind of set up a bunch of companies. I think it's better than holding up Negate at this point. Land, 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 preferably fetch land. Not a land. This hand was looking good. Let me know in the chat if you guys would have kept this hand. I think it's... the biggest thing about my streams, especially my nighttime streams when I'm drinking some beers, is I want to know when I'm wrong. Land. Okay. Okay, opponent's stuck on lands too. They have 2 power plants and a tower here. Beautiful. So I can cast Collected Company or I can cast Knight. I think I want to cast Knight here. Because Knight just means I get to win if my opponent blanks again off of anything with the retreat. So I'm just going to cast Knight. Knock my opponent down to 10. And they're just dead if I get to untap with my current board state. Okay. Looks like we're going to game 3 unless they have exactly what, dismember? The night version is much better at dealing with Tron. I'll give it that. But Tron's a 50-50 matchup here with the Abzan company list. So I don't, like, it's already 50-50. It's really just try to get Druid. If you want to be faster, maybe play. If you really want to beat Tron, put 4 Assassin's Trophies in your board. I think that's the best thing you can do. Like my 60 with 4 trophies instead of 2 in the side. That way you can blow up their lands. You can do the same loop we normally do with like Path to Exile and Eternal Witness, but instead you do it with Assassin's Trophy, and that will absolutely wreck most of their game plans. I really like this hand, but Unified Will is pretty jank here. This is game 3. They're on the play. I think I have to keep this. This is a turn 4 win if I draw a land. I think that's why I have to keep this. This is a really bad matchup, so I don't think I can... I think I need to get a little lucky anyway, especially on the draw. We actually haven't played one good matchup for this deck, because the good matchups for this deck, like I said, this is a F&M hero deck. This is the type of deck you want to play when you just want to play a bunch of fair magic and play Jund and things like that. Okay, Sphere is much better than seeing a map turn 1. Really just need to draw a land. 2 turns to hit a land. Okay. Opponent playing a forest is good for us. It means they don't have turn 3 Tron. So I run 25 lands, and we have 23 left in the deck with 51 cards. So we had a decent chance of hitting it, but I don't think we do now. Okay, they got the map anyway. Land. Land, 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 land. Perfect. So last game, actually, I didn't just have the Knight of the Reliquary combo. I actually could have made infinite mana, because I could have fetched up a Boro, and I had the Scout in play also with Retreat. So I also could have made, in Lotus Cobra, I could have made infinite mana, which could have made let me cast my 3 or 4 collected companies there. So we win. Is it completely out of the question to run just green-white devoted company, or is losing black side? I think that the black splash is so free, there's no reason not to run it, to be completely honest. So I have a 13-13 currently, so I got to make him a little bit bigger here. Okay, he's 15-15, to make him 5 bigger. Misty can't fetch anything else. Ghost Quarter really can't either. So unfortunately, oh, I still have the Temple Garden I can cast, which I can sacrifice. So let me get, I have 2 more. One has to get the Rogue's Passage. Get the Horizon Canopy. Let's see here. 16-16. It's possible I didn't have enough. Maybe the Stomping Ground is more important than I thought. In the last league, Stomping Ground is the worst card in my deck. So this is a situation where Rogue's Passage is significantly worse than... That's what I was testing this league. Like, if I just had Wolfrun, I'd win right now. But Rogue's Passage is what I was testing instead. And Rogue's Passage is just significantly worse right now. So I can get Horizon Canopy, right? Crack it. That just make him an 18-18. So I think I actually need to get a Ghost Quarter. And this is why I don't drink beer and stream. How's everyone doing tonight? Yeah. This was completely lost because I didn't have the Wolfrun in the deck, which Wolfrun should be in the deck, but I just wanted to check out Rogue's Passage. So Wolfrun would have let me make him an extra 4-5 power right there, which would have completely ended the game. So instead, I had a card that let me make him unblockable, and unblockable is not as good as +4, +0, and trample in that situation. Never would have found that out if our opponent didn't make us actually go through the combo, though. So good to know. That is much worse. This hand is terrible. Secure Tribe Scout is not good when you don't have lands. This hand is much better. So hopefully we get to finish this league with this Mimi deck on strong. We should have beaten Tron there, but I've been testing the wrong land. So to answer your question again, I don't think it's terrible to run green-white Devoted Company by itself, but I think the Black Splash is way too relevant here. The Black Splash is good in almost every single sideboard slot. Queen of land? No. I mean, not having Verdant Catacombs isn't the end of the world. It's very rare that I fetch for a basic swamp, to be completely honest. It's really just against burn and any aggro deck. It's mostly nice just to have it in Field of Ruin situations. So I think I want to play Courser. I think my life total matters more than a free Scry here. I'm going to play Bog. I wouldn't run the basic swamp without the Verdant Catacombs. I would probably run an extra Overgrown Tomb, though. So you go up against Blue-White Spirits, which is significantly weaker than Bant Spirits, because it doesn't have Collected Company and as much power to push things through. If your opponent doesn't play a land here, it means they don't have Spell Queller, which means they're pretty safe. Arbiter. Okay, we're up against a Blue-White Spooky Taxes deck. Yeah, the Pain Land means they could potentially be running Eldrazi. I just don't understand Rattle Chains in the deck then. Before they can Spell Queller or do anything sneaky, I'm just going to get this Knight of the Reliquary. Okay. That's their sneakiness for the turn. So they lost their Wanderer. Now I just have to wait one more turn, play the Knight, and then get to cast Retreat from there. Sure. Follow the 9. So, barring anything weird, we should be okay, as long as we remember to pay the 2 for the Lone Arbiter here. Take 4. Can I even pay the 2? No. I can't pay the 2 and pay Retreat. Opponents get 4. They're probably going to flash another Spirit, which means I'm probably dead. Yeah, good thing we have a Plains and Forest. Well, I mean, last game was pretty rough. Just proved the value of the plus X right there. All right. Lotus Cobra, I think I need to go up to 3, to be honest. So unfortunately, I have a blocker, and I don't have another Rogue's Passage effect. I don't know. I'm just making a giant dude right now and gaining some life. That's all my entire plan right now is. I'm not going for lethal right now. Yeah, probably. So all I'm doing is just gaining a little bit of life so I just can't die. Yeah, that's really, really great. That's one of the reasons why I like Scout so much in this deck, is Scout can just do a lot of really cool things there. So I want Path to Exile. I don't want Bajuka Bog. Ghost Quarter is interesting because I can Ghost Quarter their lands. Reflector Mage is probably really good here. Scavenging Ooze is bad. Spike Feeder is probably bad. Trim a retreat or two. That's one reason why I really like Scout. Scout could grab Selesnya Sanctuary, and then I could replay, untap Scout, and then replay the Rogue off of that. But you can't do that when I don't have Scout in play. So tonight was just an impromptu stream. Just had an extra little bit of time, so I figured I'd just hop on. Okay, so main phase rattle chains just to squeak throwing extra damage. Yeah, it's got to be what this is here. Next turn I have either Collect a Company or Tireless Tracker in a land, based on what I want to do here. Probably Tracker in a land because of that Mausoleum Wanderer. Unless I just want to use Collected Company as a 4-mana kill this dude card. Yeah, those are the weird art Lotus Cobras. This clearly looks like they're holding up Spell Queller. Queller. Okay. That's kind of cool. Instant Speed Eidolon. Lotus Cobra's actually generally overperformed in this deck so far, which has been pretty sweet. Anybody who's got to go to bed because it's pretty late, this will be on YouTube at some point so you can see how the league ends. This will be on YouTube within a 24-hour period. Okay. So our opponent's tapped out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 potential mana, which means I can double spell only if I Reflector Mage the Eidolon. I think the first thing I want to do is probably actually play Reflector Mage on a Lord and load up on clues. Because Collected Company is just going to get countered here, unless I pay 2, which I could pay 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I'll just run that then. I don't know why they have Eidolon against us here. That was a whiff. So probably just dead here then, thanks to that giant mega whiff. Probably should have Reflector Maged. I was hoping to hit something a little more valuable than just a single knight. Yep, dead. Okay, it all comes down to game number 3. Just gonna bring back in 1 retreat. Cut a Ghost Quarter. Terrible hand. This hand is functional. I'll bottom a tracker. Actually, really, I'm not a huge fan of the London Mulligan rule. I'd much prefer just where you get to scry X wherever X is the number you mulliganed. The top deck a land here. I'm more at the dregs of the league right now, sitting at 2-2. Yeah, got on a 13. Top deck a land. And pretty land bit in a 25, right now a 24 land deck. It's not how I want to go down here. I still don't understand the Eidolon of Rhetoric. I feel like it hurts them just as much as it hurts me. Okay. Yeah, I think it definitely hurts them more. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. So I think I'm just going to go Reflector Mage. Pass. Yeah, fall to 7. Yeah, this whole deck is built around 3 drops. I don't really see how Eidolon of Rhetoric really does much here. I really need some life gain. Unfortunately, the only one I can afford is Corsa right now. I would love to see a Karoo land on top. Okay. Good game. So first thing I want to do here is re-add Kessig Wolfrun, re-add Stomping Ground, take out Rogue's Passage, which was just a little bit too cute, and what was the extra card there? I think it was an extra Temple Garden. Yep. Any changes you guys would make to the deck list? This is a brew. This is just spice. It's not good. It's like I said before, it was the F&M Hero deck. If you want to show up to F&M with a deck that no one's ever seen before, Lotus Cobra number 3. What would you cut for it? Because Lotus Cobra does make the infinite mana loop, which with Tracker lets you draw your entire deck. They just keep running into that this deck list is just really, really tight. Cut the Spike Feeder Archangel combo, but that is full of the memes. That is just for all of the memes there. Deck would be better if you cut that combo for 2 more Lotus Cobras. Yes. I will say Archangel is perfectly valid on her own, especially with Core Serve Crewfix. That's actually a really good mini combo there. This deck really just wants 4 ofs everywhere, but can't afford it. And the sideboard's really rough to figure out. I'm trying to figure out what I bring in, what I take out. I noticed when I bring in paths, I usually take out retreats because they become less of a combo deck. This Bojuka Bog main could be the Ghost Coder. That's an easy switch. Then put the Bojuka Bog on the side. I wanted to hedge against some bad matchups, though. But you're right, Chris. Cutting a bad combo is probably good. I just really like the Archangel Spike Feeder combo. And this deck was all about just putting in cards I like. All right. Well, I'm very happy with the deck list. Should have gone 3-2. Should have beaten Tron. Just I tested a card to see why is this not played instead of Kessig Wolfrun. Because Kessig Wolfrun forces you to run the Stomping Ground. And this deck list doesn't run Birds of Paradise, which means I don't actually have access to red mana without this Stomping Ground. Although I do have Lotus Cobra, which can sometimes get there by itself. Yep, I'm actually heading off too. This will be up on YouTube shortly. I have some exciting news that I'm working in collaboration with a bunch of other streamers real soon. It's something that we are working on, and I will be announcing it hopefully in the next couple weeks. I'm really excited about it. So you guys will just get to look forward to that. So thank you very much for hopping on board. Thank you for the follows. I got like 9 today, which is awesome. So thank you very much for that. Between the follows that I get when I'm just offline, which is always fun, to the follows that happened later on during the stream. Let me know what you guys want to see. You can message me on Discord. My next stream is probably going to be Abzan Company, and this is my current list right here. This is the 75 I have the complete sideboard guide for on the Discord. Could be Amulet Titan, which would be the list I've been running with Amulet Titan. In the flex spots, I have a Explore, an extra EE. And I have no Hive Mind combo because it uses a couple more slots in the 75 than I'd like. I'm just sticking with the one Emrakul for that slot instead. Could always go with the green-white Mirror Company. I've been kind of wanting to play this a little bit. To answer your question before, if you did not have access to Verdant Catacombs, you want to play Devoted Druid, this is a perfectly acceptable version of Devoted Druid to play. Vizier is much worse here. This deck is built around the power of Militia, Bugler, and Mirror Entity. Just super fun. Every creature in this deck is a hit, except for Shalai off of Militia Bugler. You can just chain through your entire deck and win with giant Mirror Entities. So it's got a great fair plan. Oops. How is Amulet unplayable? Because Ashiok? I mean, she's great, but pretty sure Amulet will find a way around that. So, a bunch of other decks here. Let me know what you want me to play. I might just do my next stream as just a dealer's choice. Just do a bunch of different open queues with different decks based on what people want. Anyways, thanks for hanging out. I will see you guys soon.